What people consider comedies, I don't see how this fits the bill. Chase Leaki here with the Blue Futon reviewing May December. What's about? Pretty simple premise. This is about an event that occurred, I think, in 92 or 94 in real life, but this is a fictitious story of 18 years later and what could have occurred if with this family. Um, so now a movie's being based off this family, and Natalie Portman is trying to portray Julianne Moore, and she's trying to get in the right mindset to play her in this film. Did I like this film? I liked aspects of it. I loved the score. This is something, in my opinion, should get an Oscar nomination for the score. This reminds me of as haunting as All Quiet on the Western Front. I was a lover of that score, and I'm so glad that beat Babylon. All right, there's that. This is in that category where whenever that score was going, that piano chord, I was hooked. I like the dynamics of Charles Melton character the most. The father character of never smoking pot before, which I've never have either, honestly. Like, it's drugs in general, like, I just have no interest, period, dot. But then, what he missed in his childhood from age 13 to 18 years later because he's been taking care of the kids while Julianne Moore was in jail. So that dynamic is very interesting. And I find fascinating this whole town dynamic of her brothers, her old husband, her old kids, her baking the cake. So, like, there is interesting dynamics in this film, which I was intrigued at. But when the movie was over and the last scene stopped, I don't know if who was in the fuckery position. Was it more Julianne Moore's character or was it more Natalie Portman's character? Because in real life, Julianne Moore's character is the predator, correct? She preyed on a 13-year-old, had twins, okay? I don't know if she realizes what she did was wrong. That's the thing. There's a lot of different characters. There's her old lawyer. There's the husband. There's Georgie. There's a bunch of different characters where you don't know if Julianne Moore is in the right state of mind, especially with the Fox scene and crying all of a sudden with the cakes and Charles Melton character trying to understand, like, what if I was too young and I'm just living this life and he is texting this other girl about butterflies. So there's just interesting dynamics there. And then you have the complex Natalie Portman character, which I don't know what they're trying to say about Hollywood or her in general, where is she a worse character than Julianne Moore? Because even though Julianne Moore did the act, Natalie Portman wants to do the act. It's more of a fucked up fantasy that she is really wanting to play and gain her mind in the headspace of fuckery. That's why I'm saying this movie, I don't see it as a comedy. I saw it as a dramatic piece that I don't know if I understand why it was made. Like, what is the premise? I had this, even though I enjoyed Once Upon a Time in Hollywood with Quentin Tarantino, after those credits, I said, what's kind of the point of this movie? I understand you want to do that Marilyn Manson story and connect it with Hollywood, but what's the overall point? There are, like, movies like that where it's like, okay, you have the friendship plot, you have the action revenge plot, you have the rom-com plot of, like, why they're going to get together or they're not going to get together, like the breakup and Vince Vaughn and Julianne Moore, or not Julianne Moore, Jennifer Aniston. But with this movie, I don't know what it was trying to say. Was it trying to say that Charles Melton, of course he's the victim, but what are you trying to, what am I supposed to get from the Natalie Portman character? What am I supposed to get from this Julianne Moore character? What am I supposed to get from this town that's trying to make it normalized? Are they trying to stop this normalization? Because yes, it might have occurred 18 years later and you don't want to ruin this kid's life because, I mean, these kids were in, is it the kid's fault that she was 13 and she was 36? I like the editing. I like the technical aspects of this film. The directing, the writing, the acting. I have nothing wrong with that. I just have wrong with the message of the film? What am I supposed to grasp? If you guys in the comments can help me know what I'm supposed to grasp from this movie, what is the overlining message of this film? Is everyone in the wrong in this movie except Charles Melton in the town, or at least some of the town folk? I don't know, because I'm truly baffled with this film, because I did a deep dive. I was like, okay, ending explained. I didn't really need the ending explained. It does that, especially with her going hunting, him not being at. I'm not gonna. Never mind that spoilers. But what am I supposed to get from this film? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too close-minded to understand that. But let me in the comments below. What do you think the message of this movie is? So we could discuss it. Because I need a discussion with this one. Like, this one was the one where I need to watch with someone that's not my mom. Because, of course, there's a really fake penis in this film. But, that's all I'll say there. But, yeah. I'm baffled at this film. And I know why a movie like this is kind of, even though it came out on Netflix and there's a lot of high-profile actors, they're not really putting it on the main page. Same with Rustin. I still need to watch Rustin, but I feel like Netflix is kind of just like throwing that down below because they really want Maestro to be their #1 movie, even though I think Naiad should. But Naiad is going to drop, even though I think Naiad's a fantastic freaking film. But yeah, May, December, I enjoyed most of it, but I don't know what I'm supposed to achieve from my viewing. So May, December will receive a 3.5 out of 5 with Futons, which equals at 70%. So see the critics and user scores gave this one. So you have critics a 92%, 216 of them. Audience score 83% with over 500 critic consensus. Swiddling, it's difficult, fact-based good story in a blanket of campy humor. May, December is a seductively discomforting walk. Campy humor. See, I don't find any of this funny. This is not, it's kind of like what movie I just watched recently where someone's like, oh, it's funny. And I'm like, oh, yeah, Dream Scenario. That shit not funny. This is the same way. 92, 83, 70. Chase Hockey with the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. One of the things, Futontopia. You both have a great day. And I don't care about you today, tomorrow, a week from now, a month from now, a year from now, every single freaking one of you. I'm baffled.